It's only 6:45 a.m. in the morning. I'm on the train to Lok Ma Chau, one of the border control points that will open today.
2023 began with the reopening of the border between Hong Kong and mainland China. It had been closed for nearly 3 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Cross-border traffic picked up, barriers fell, and families were finally reunited.
Much of the city's vibrancy came back. Hong Kong's largest music festival, Clockenflap, returned for the first time since 2018, with over 100 musical acts performing. Following the music festival, the biggest art fair in Asia, Art Basel, also returned. The 2023 edition featured more than 170 art galleries, drawing in high-spending foreign visitors. And in March, flocks of fans flew in for the Hong Kong Sevens rugby tournament.
This is where you will want to be if you want to enjoy the 2023 Hong Kong Sevens rugby action from March 31st to April 2nd.
我覺得嗰樣嘢係香港好獨特、好獨有，喺成世界各地都冇。
Hong Kong's traditional Chung Chau Bun Festival also returned. The tower scrambling competition involved 12 contestants scaling a 15-meter structure to snatch buns for points. It might have looked like all fun and games.
But Hong Kong also saw its share of tragedy, including a murder case that gripped the city and made international headlines. "28-year-old socialite Abby Choi vanished on February 21st. 3 days later, police found part of her remains in a village house, along with a meat grinder, cleavers, and an electric saw.
Choy's ex-husband and her former in-laws were arrested in connection with the killing and remained in custody until the investigation was completed.
Hong Kong's first authorized protest in 3 years took place in Tseung Kwan O on March 26. About 80 people demonstrated against a plan to build 6 public facilities on a new patch of reclaimed land southwest of the residential district. Demonstrators were required to wear number tags around their necks and keep their faces uncovered.
We're like sheep, we're like cattle, we're herded around. It's not acceptable. I hope more residents can do more and come out and say to the government, we do not stand for this environmental destruction of Hong Kong.
One event that didn't happen in 2023 was the vigil in Hong Kong's Victoria Park to mark the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square crackdown. The commemoration, which attracted tens of thousands, began in 1990 but was banned by authorities in 2020, citing COVID-19 restrictions. This year, part of the park was closed for maintenance.
咁主要嚟講到咧，係有關於係6月4號到目前為止咧，我哋係暫時未收到係一啲公眾活動嘅申請嘅。
The area of the park that remained open became home to a 3-day carnival, co-hosted by 26 pro-Beijing groups to mark 26 years since Hong Kong's return to Chinese rule. Still, at least 24 people were removed by the police for carrying seditious materials.
Hong Kong's long-running housing problems worsened in 2023. This despite a pledge from Chief Executive John Lee in his maiden policy speech to cut the average waiting time for public housing. Instead, that wait time climbed further to 5.6 years, leaving many languishing in subdivided flats or so-called cage homes.
Grocery store shelves were emptied in August ahead of the release of treated radioactive wastewater from Japan's Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant into the sea.
Salt was the ingredient people were clamoring for in the belief that it would offer protection against radiation.
This salt doesn't work for radiation detection.
Panic buying again ensued in September when Super Typhoon Saola approached Hong Kong, prompting the city to issue the number 10 hurricane signal, the highest on the observatory's scale. That storm did minimal damage, but just days later, Hong Kong saw its worst downpour in more than a century. Streets turned into rivers, malls and railway stations were flooded, and more than 140 people were sent to hospital with related injuries. Another typhoon, Koinu, hit Hong Kong less than a month later, with more than 200 millimeters of rain recorded in some urban areas.
A rare whale sighting in Hong Kong waters circulated online, drawing in swarms of curious onlookers.
We spotted what looked like a big, dark kind of triangle shape protruding out of the water. We very quickly realized that it was moving.
But the bride's whale was found floating off Sai Kung 2 weeks later, having died from deep wounds that scientists said were likely to have been caused by propeller boats drifting too close to the whale. Experts added human activity in the area could have indirectly killed the whale. Hong Kong hosted the first gay games in Asia in November 2023. Athletes from more than 40 countries ranging in age from 18 to 87 competed for medals in 18 sports. Hong Kong made progress for LGBTQ rights when a court ruled that same-sex couples hold equal inheritance rights.
Today, the Court of the Final Appeal made a landmark decision regarding the legal status of same-sex partnership in Hong Kong.
Prominent Hong Kong opposition activist Agnes Chow, who was required to report to the police at the end of December as part of her national security law case, decided to abscond in Canada.
She's suspected of collusion with a foreign country or with external elements to endanger national security. Another 47 people, including activists, politicians, and former legislators, face charges of conspiracy to commit subversion.
Founder of the now-folded Apple Daily newspaper and outspoken Beijing critic Jimmy Lai, who spent more than 3 years behind bars awaiting trial, is being separately tried. The High Court estimates the proceedings, which began on December 18, will take at least 80 days, running into 2024. A number of supporters turned up on the first day of Lai's trial, including former legislator Emily Lau.